Hello. Sorry for starting up a few minutes late. I'm just kind of getting things set up. I was putting the word out that I was streaming. Probably won't get too many viewers, but it gives me an excuse to work on the game. And it's Easter, so it makes sense that I would work on a game called Easteria. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm continuing the combat update to the game. I kind of need to figure out where I left off because I really haven't done much since I did work a little bit on it in one session after the previous live stream, um, and so I can probably show off. I don't know if I had that running in before, but you can see there's actually little health bars now. Um, and I have the full stab animation. It's kind of like the classic RuneScape stab, but the idea is that you have to run up to something and then kind of like in stride hit what you want to. So now I need to add in the ability to so the health bar is there, and now I need to make it so that you affect the health bar. So if the health bar is full, you don't see it, which is pretty common in a lot of games. And so I'm just working on that. Here, this is what I can do. I can pop out the chat. Pop out chat. So if you have any questions, I've got the chat up on the side of the screen. You should be able to see, or I should be able to see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, so let's get into it. So, like I said, what I'm working on is I'm trying to make it so that you can attack the cows here. And there's a little fish there. I don't have the rod with me because it's down by the it's down on the dock. By the way, the fishing rod is not going to just be free and open to everyone when I finally get around to it. It's gonna be more of a thing where you have to kind of earn it or buy it. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do, but I do know that there's going to be several ways that you can get something. So let's see how that goes. Alright, so let me go to, oh god, Control H, class, close. Okay, so this guy has a health now, and that health, when does it update? It doesn't update. That's the key part for right now. But what I want to do is, in the true manner of object-oriented programming, I want to have, and sorry if I'm burping a lot, I want the, what am I trying to say? I want the object to take care of its own health. So instead of the user checking if there's any objects in the area, I want the object to check if the user is nearby and looking at them, and then also stabbing. So that's going to be a little interesting. I'd probably need to, so I have near check, but what that does is it actually checks for the wall, maybe. So no, so the user, this is user X, and it can tell you if the user is near it. So okay, this is how this works. So the way this works is that this is obstructions can be anything from animated objects to walls and things like that. So this near check does work in terms of the user, but the problem is that this will actually the cows themselves have an offset. So this top offset is what's going to confuse it. The image offset is what's going to confuse it. So the image offset will put the it's going to put the center point, or the point of origin for the cows, closer to the middle. I don't know if you can see that correctly, but so it's down by like the feet of the cow instead of being up in the corner where the picture would be printed from. So that's going to be something that's a little interesting to work with. But we shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. I may need to just write a new thing to work with. So the key things is that it's not an AoE damage. It's very directional because you're stabbing. So the direction that the user is looking is important. So I'm trying to decide how I want to do this, because there's two things. So there's how close you are, because reach is important, and there's also what direction you're in. So first off, you can check how close you are, and that'll be a quick check to see which ones are possible of being hit. And then there's gonna have to be some sort of like cone of not cone, but like wedge of possible hitting, or it could be even like a rectangle. There just needs to be some thickness, because if you had to be on a pixel perfect plane with the cow, that would just be stupid. But it needs to have a hitbox. So I can probably have some sort of debug on there, where sort of like how I have with the fish viz and swim viz, where if I turn those on, you can just see the cone and maybe the hitboxes. So in user, or in main, for the main character, there is this use item, and so the whole point of this is that it checks if you, for what mode you're in, switches between self attack mode and not in attack mode, and then it this is, if they're not in attack mode, there's a bunch of stuff that has to do with fishing rods, but if you are in attack mode, then you just use the item. Now there's gonna be some extra stuff in here specific to attack mode, and I think that's where we're going to look into something. So another thing to keep in mind is that these cows can overlap a little bit. I'm thinking that there's going to be some hierarchy to which one gets hit, and I guess that would have to be the closer one. That makes it a little bit more complicated. So say there's a bunch of stuff stacked on top. In the event that they're in the exact same spot, it really doesn't matter. I'd say that just whichever one comes first in the index gets hit. But so we're gonna make some self.attack equals now that's gonna be a something you can define. So this is gonna be attack, and then that might be blocked out by my head right now, but self. So there's some stats that will be associated with this. The big factors are what you have in your hand. if you have anything in your hand. And then there's going to be some randomness, just because there's always randomness in how things attack. And then, so I think the big thing is I'm really big on a lot of stats playing nice with each other. So I'd like for things like agility to really have a big play in how well you attack, and maybe if you have fishing, that would play in if you had the fishing rod in your hand or something. But little things like that I can tweak later. I want to get the general attack down. So what this is gonna have to do is so in the areas and in the rooms, there's a register of objects. So if it's going to have to check through the objects and see which ones have health, that'll be the first check. It'll have to... So I can make the areas themselves keep track of this, actually. So if I feed it the user's position, which, I mean, it can get at any point in time if it wants to, but if I feed it the user's position, so say we have, the problem with this is it's going to be like, it's going to be specific to the user's current area, so that's why I kind of wanted to just have the objects themselves take care of it, but I don't know. The only way that would work is if it's cycling through all the objects and checking if they're in the area. So that would lead to some collateral damage. Say you had a couple stacked on top of each other. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the possibility of them stacking up just means that you can deal more damage or something. I don't know. So we have this attack in here. So what that's going to do is it's going to have to run through some random numbers to see what the reach is, the power is, and other random side effects. So let's see if we have that's not going to be there. It's down in the stats. So class. So we have health, attack, defense, luck, charisma, craftsmanship, agility. Yeah, okay. So agility, luck, and attack are going to play into this. So luck is nice because that will make you hit higher numbers more often, but the cap of those high numbers is going to be the attack. And then agility is going to be associated with your reach. I think that makes sense. So if we go back up to Control H, def, attack, find, close. Okay. So we're going to make A is equal to player stats. Ooh, I gotta remember what order they're in. 1, 0. L is equal to player stats 3 0. Those zeros might be wrong actually, and then our that's gonna be AT. It's gonna be AG is equal to player stats. I don't remember where agility is, so Control H class. Agility is 5. Luck is 2. Attack is 0. I forgot about that. So we need to go stats, and then 0, and then for each of the stats, I believe it's 0. How does that work? Level is yeah, it's 0. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. Control H, def attack, find, close. This is 0. This is 2, but we're gonna need dot stats. Dot stats. Dot stats. Oops, it was 5, 0. Okay, so those are the current levels of those statistics, and now we're gonna add in some randomness, but it's gonna be hit is equal to now these will also be affected by the actual creature's defense, but yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna play. I think the defense might just be how much health it has, so because it could have more health. Like right now, I believe the cows only have like 5 health, maybe 10. I don't remember what I set it to. So the hit is going to be equal to the random dot rand int from okay, so I need to do some if statements. If L is greater than AT, then is equal to AT. The reason for that is L is going to be the lower bound, and AT is going to be the upper bound on this random integer. And what that'll do is it'll it'll make it so that you always hit that number if you have enough luck. And then so we have hit, we have the agility, which is going to be associated with the reach, and so I think we're probably going to put a cap on the reach, and then the reach can be extended based off of weaponry. see there's one person watching the stream. Okay, so here it's going to have to look at what area it's in and start some function within the area. So now, one thing I need to keep in mind is I don't know if this is going to run several times. Obviously, we only want it to run once when you strike, and perhaps if you achieved some sort of, what's it called? If you achieved some sort of perk through the attack stat, you might be able, or agility or something, you might be able to like double strike. But that's something that I'll leave for later. I want to do, I think I've talked about this, I want to do like skill trees so that you can use points that you earn from skills to buy certain special moves and things like that. Special abilities. I think I'll have fun with making those. So you have your hit. We're gonna go environment self dot area dot. Okay, so it could just be there in the area. So I guess it's important to first check if self.build is equal to -1. Environment self.area dot attack. Should we keep it the same? Maybe we'll call it damage or something. So this is going to take in hit, and it's going to take in AG, and those things will play into, it'll play into the current situation. So I think I added in the last time I was working on this a stat to each of the items. So if we go Control H, class item, find close, yes. So these attacks are here. So based off of what you have in your hand, you will attack with extra force. So yeah. Yeah, so the way it's set up right now, if you don't have anything in your attack stat, you won't do any damage. Now, you'll still gain experience from hitting things. There should be some base experience, I guess. But that'll just be something. So the whole thing of this is you don't really know what stats are available until you get a level in one of them, and I think that's an interesting aspect. I mean, maybe that's me being biased, but I really like the concept of kind of figuring out the game as it goes. So okay. So here we can look at what the item is. So that's important. So what's going to happen is the item value is just going to be added flat onto the hit value because the attack of the item shouldn't be random. Um, it's just your ability that's added on top of that that should be random. So if we take we're going to go plus items dot attack, and then I need to know what is currently in your inventory slot. So items dot inv 2 1. That's got to be it. Okay, so I'm gonna go check that. Okay, so items attack, that's going to be this value that is added to each item. And then if we go down to inv, yes, so there's our combat slot. So that should be what we're looking at. Okay, so maybe I can do some quick, if I go back up to attack, as opposed to moving on too far, I'm going to do some bug testing just to make sure everything's working smoothly. So I'm going to make it print hit and agility every time I use something. Sorry for that awful picture of a bunch of mice. Okay, so I don't have anything in my hand. So if I use, then nothing happens, but I'm trying to make it so I can see the command window. But if I switch into combat mode and I use, I get an error. Index out of range. So what is that saying? That's saying that there's currently, both of them are 0. Is that going to cause problems in the random, or okay, so is that in the new spot? It is. Okay, so that is a problem with items.attack. Right. I actually have to run to the bathroom, but I will leave you with some music. Okay, back to business. Get that running so you don't have to listen to it anymore. And still says somebody's watching. Okay, so I gotta see what this is doing. So that's what the rock is cooking. Okay, so that's causing an index error. So it means that inventory slot 2(1) is a problem. Why is that a problem? Go back down to item. Okay, so here is what I'm looking at. So I think it has to do with the fact that I have multiple things in here. So it's going to be 201. Yeah, that's what it has to be. So let me go back up to attack. Let me see if that works. There we go. Okay, and just as I would hope, it's giving me 0, 0 because I have 0 attack and 0 agility and 0 luck and no weapon. And the other key factor is that it's only printing it once, so that means that I'm only getting 1 attack in per press. Okay, so I think that's what I'm looking for. Alright, so that is working. Actually, let me go. I'm gonna make it so that I can pop up on the inside there. It's easy to go back to 100, 100, and then this just needs to be 0, 0. Ah, gotta make them not comments. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. Got a rope. That's actually really convenient. So I can switch into combat mode and use the rope. So the rope is gonna always give 2 attack. You can actually attack the hole. You gotta, and you can die. That's great. So you can use that over there. You can go get the sheet. You put the sheet down there. Go into attack mode. Oh, that looks great. Just the complete blocking of the character because of the sheet is just so massive. You can actually hit that pretty fast if you time it right. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with how that looks. I just like the idea that you could go attack someone with the bed sheets. and it actually does some damage, so it'll always do 1 damage at least. Okay, so we're gonna go down here so that you guys can see the cows, and we'll get back to work. So, what do we want to do? Control H, def attack, find, close. Okay, so right now we know that it is printing out the correct hit and agility. So I'm going to leave that debug in there for now, but we're going to take this back out. And we're going to have to do the same thing. So yeah, we'll go to there, copy, paste, elif. Actually, else. We just need else. And then from there, we have to add in builds self dot build rooms self dot room dot damage. Okay, so we have environment self dot area, environment self dot area build room. So now we need to go make the damage thing. So class classroom, class area. I think area, well, either of them will work. So we have this collision, and so damage is going to be similar to collision. Actually, that could be an important idea. We'll keep it this way. So, damage. Yeah, never mind. The way that collision is set up is it's doing the collisions with the buildings because the buildings are kind of like objects. It's weird, but so we have self, we have hit, and we have agility. And so that is going to be important. I'm wondering, so at the moment the items don't have a specific reach statistic, but I could put it just on top of the attack. So if I go to class item, then I could do this. I mean, it doesn't really matter there, but if I go here, my reach with the blank, with nothing, is gonna be 5. So that's gonna be the base reach. It's 5 pixels. So you have to be pretty close for that to work. With the rope, maybe you get a little extra reach. I'm just trying to make things so I don't think you're gonna get extra reach with the bed sheet. Rusty axe, yeah, you're definitely gonna get some more reach with that. So reach is gonna be 10. Make the reach the same on here. My mom just played an April Fool's joke on me, saying that we got another dog. Log, that'll just be, ooh, oh, we'll make it 6. Why not? You hit someone with a log, I'll be impressed. Farmer's head, we'll make that. Why don't we just make that one special? Nah, no, we're gonna take that thing down. Yeah, it'll be 5. And then a fishing rod should get some pretty nice reach actually. So let's put that one up to yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to move these around a bit. So if I go to def attack, then where did I have that attack stat? Attack is going to be, there's going to be a secondary thing here, so that's going to be 0. And then your reach is going to be the AG. We'll make it random. We'll make it random. So okay, so R is going to be that. So we're going to do, what did I use? I didn't delete anything. Okay. R is equal to L if L is greater than attack, then R is equal to attack. And so then that's for hit. And then R is equal to L if L is greater than AG, then R is equal to AG. Reach is equal to random dot randint R. AG plus items dot attack items dot inf one right. So instead of sending AG, we're going to send reach and reach. Def damage. This is going to be reach. I gotta remember, is it orientation? I was uh, posting a discussion on Reddit about the fact that my game is named pretty close to Easter, and I actually had a lot more viewers, well, a few more viewers on my itch.io page that were looking for Easter games, and they sadly found mine. Okay, so this is going to look at which objects are close. Don't know what that was. Alright, so we're gonna go for I in range when self dot obst if self dot obst dot oh yeah, that's gonna be important. I'm gonna have to I have there's a thing called like current position, or yeah, no, it's curpose. It's screen pose. So def screen pose. Find that. Close. So what this does is it checks it gives you the X and Y on the screen, but that's actually very nice because what that'll do is it will allow us, it gives you the X and Y on the screen, but the X and Y on the screen with comparison to the middle of the screen, so the mid screens here, actually give you the relative position to the user, and that coupled with the orientation of the user will give us what we want. So okay, I think I'm gonna do the rectangle approach. So what's gonna happen is def damage. We're gonna find that. I gotta be careful not to hit enter on that. So position is equal to screen pose self dot obst. Oh, here's a big one. If self dot obst dot health does not equal none. Okay, so that'll dwindle it down to the ones that are able to be hit. And we should be able to figure that out. Hold on. my senior design team was flying our drone earlier today, so we wanted to. Well, my parents were asking what the deal is with that. Okay, so we're reading out the x and y values on the screen. Let's edit those x and y values to where it is in comparison to the person. So is equal to pose 0 minus mid-screen 0 pose 1 minus mid-screen 1. And so what that'll do is it will look at where it is compared to the user. So we need to look at the user's orientation. So user dot orientation. We should probably just no, I like it doing it this way. So is it user dot orient? Orient, that's what we want. So what are the orientations? What is the order of the orientations? That's important. Where can I get... Okay, so... Alright, orientation 0 is right. Orientation 1 is left. Orientation 2 is up. And orientation 3 is down. Alright, so right, left, up, down. That makes sense. Def damage. If user dot orientation is equal to user dot orientation equal to 0, so it's going to be right, and pose 0 is greater than 0, pose 0 it's greater than or equal to 0. Actually, we'll leave it being right on top of it as something that will work. So I'm gonna make this one big ass if statement, and we'll clean it up from there. Less than or equal to reach, and pose 1 is how big of an area are we gonna make this? So we can make it 10. Yeah, I don't want it to be too I want it to be confined, but I want the area, like the hitbox you can hit on the object, to be pretty big. Well, to make sense for the entire thing. So, yeah, we'll have to edit what the hitbox is. I don't know how I can incorporate that. So, hmm. So with the Y, we can do that pretty easily. So if abs pose 1 is less than or equal to 5, so this is going to be one big pocket. So that's just one thing, and then not sure why that just went back over there. Okay. So the benefit of what I'm doing right now is that it's it's checking for each direction and all that jazz. But what I need to do is I need to establish a hitbox on the actual I need to establish a hitbox or some wiggle room on the yeah, no, I'm thinking about how I can do this. So if we have this position, we can establish a hitbox by creating an boundaries in a rectangular shape around the thing. But there's got to be two ways we could do that, because it's going to get annoying if I have some sort of circular person. Maybe it'll just be easier to always do it rectangularly. Yeah. Alright, we'll set up the rectangle thing for now. So we're going to have hitbox is equal to it's going to be a dual thing. So pose 0 minus self dot just saw that ops I so I need to establish where the offset is. I guess that should be fine. Yeah, okay, so we'll do this. Dot hitbox 0 0, and then that same thing. And then that same thing. But we're gonna switch these to ones. We're gonna switch these to ones. This to one, this to one. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna adjust it for the size of the object. So that's going to be something that you have to set up when you create something that can be attacked. But the way that that's going to play out is instead of this, we're going to be saying that so it's going to check if either of them are greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that is the general form that that's going to work with. Okay. Okay. So this is also going to have to be an OR. Okay. So what that should do is it'll check if either boundary is within the range of what you could hit, and that should mean that it checks the entire rectangle, and we should be good. So I'm gonna update this. Okay. So now we need to check for each other direction. So we're going to have to edit this. So I'm going to make this full screen to make my life a lot easier. Does that ruin anything on there? No, you can still see the same amount. You just won't be able to see everything I'm working on. So orientation 1, we are now going to the left. So less than or equal to 0. Equal to 0. Greater than or equal to negative reach. Greater than or equal to negative reach. Absolute value, still going to be the same. Okay. Now we're going up. Up is going to be 1, 1. And it's actually negative in the upwards direction based off the way Python has things set up. So this is going to be less than, this should be greater than, we need to go 1, 1, negative, greater than, negative, 0, 0. Okay. And then our final one, 3, should just be an easy change. 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. So if that happens, I'm gonna put that there. If that happens. So I feel like it's giving me a syntax error, but we'll get there when we get there. Then we're gonna just make it print hi. We're gonna make it print the number 0. Invalid syntax. Okay. So what's going on? Okay. go. I just realized it's gonna give a, yeah, it's gonna give an error because I haven't added the hitbox to the cows or objects in general. Class self dot hitbox equals, okay, so that's there. Control H, cow. Okay, so we're here at the cows. Health, there we go. So environment 0 dot obst dot I dot hitbox equals, okay, so the image offset has it sitting at 2040. Let me pull up the picture of the cow for reference. Easteria, we're gonna go to areas, 0, animation, cow. I think that we're gonna have to go off of this rectangle as opposed to the normal one. So we have the cow sitting at 2040. So we're gonna base this off of the true center of the cow. Let me get the pencil. I like the pencil better. What was I on? I was on the paintbrush. I go down to the size. That's the true. So it's actually around 22. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to do -7 and +7 for the x. For the y, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. That'll get you to the bottom. So it's from 40 to 13. So it's going to be 27 in the other direction. Now I need to think about how I do this. So this is going to be -7, 7. And then in the upwards direction, it's going to be blah, blah, blah. Oh, so it shouldn't matter. The hitbox, it shouldn't matter what order I put these in the way I did it. So we have 3, so we're going to -27 and 3. Alright. Found a rope, how convenient. not gonna go into combat mode. Ooh, there's an error. Empty range. So an attack from R to attack. So it's not liking what I did there. Def attack. That might have had something to do with it. I think I typed a 1 instead of an L because they look exactly the same and I just wasn't thinking. I should really set up the debug so it just spawns me outside, but I'm too lazy right now. How long have I been going? Hour and 20 minutes? Alright, we might cut it off at like an hour 30 or something. Let me see how much I get done. Okay. List has no attribute X, so that would be a problem. Where am I feeding it? Oh, in damage. So def damage. This needs to be obst I. I'm gonna go set up the debug. Class main. There we go. Oh. Oh, that'll be a problem. I typed out orientation instead of orient. So this is going to be in def damage. Oh god. Okay. This is stupid, but I gotta go add a health to the water because the water is type of object. So class water. Self dot health equals none. You know, maybe I'll have a thing of water you can attack. I don't know. I'm all for diversity. Can I? Okay, it's letting me attack. If I go down here and attack the cow, yes, it popped up saying 0. That's what we want. Can I get a couple of them to stack up? Then I'll see how that works. Ooh, that might be good enough. Don't know what's happening. I guess we'll have to get it to testing. So, def damage, find. Okay, so if we get here, we want the health to go down. So self dot obst I dot health 0 minus equals hit. And then if self dot obst I dot health 0 is less than 0, self dot obst. Ooh. Is that gonna work? Let's see. So let's make that less than or equal to 0. What's going on here? It was just working a couple seconds. Oh, I took away the message. I'm just not doing any damage. That's the problem. Okay, so let me get, let me take the debug off. Make that 0. Make that 0. Alright, we just want to get this blanket. Ah, crap. No, I have to get the rope. Let's see how many tries this takes before I just go spawn it into my hand. There we go. Got the rope. Alright, we're gonna use the bed sheet on there, and then we're gonna put the rope in our attack slot, come out swinging, and we're gonna hit this cow. Ooh, look at that damage. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay. So, what's happening is we're having a problem where I had it pop, but this needs to keep going, and then it goes out of it. So this just needs to happen later. So what I'm probably gonna do is, yeah. What we'll do? Okay, we'll do this. Okay. We're gonna do dead is equal to 0 times 0. if that is true, dead dot append I. So in range dead self dot obst dot pop dead dot I. Let's see if that works. Ooh, need a colon. There we go. What this should do is it should keep track of who's dead. Oh, this means I need to go get the rope again. Got the rope. Okay. Ah, I see. So you can see that it was working in dealing damage, but then you get past there and it goes negative, and that's not what we want. So what's happening here? Is this not happening at all? Okay, I really need to go put something in my inventory. Items dot in fine. Class item. So here we're just gonna throw 4. I don't know what 4 is, but we'll find out. Oh, it's an axe. Alright, that is a problem though, but I'm gonna deal with that when I get there. Okay, so 100, 100, -1, -1. Alright, so I got the axe no matter what. Okay. So, what do we do if I hit this guy? Ooh, look at that line. Man, he's got so much less health than he did before. Oh, that was actually a kind of good reaction. Oh, why can't I hit that guy? So what is happening here that's not correct? Hmm. That was weird. Yeah, that doesn't work. All right. It's not doing anything here. So what's the problem with that? So so this is definitely happening. And then it's getting to this section and this isn't happening. I don't know why. So what's the length of dead? Maybe I can do that. So when ooh, that's a problem. Okay. Got it. It's removing dead. So dead needs to be initialized there. That's the problem. Got him. I think this axe is too powerful. It is working though. Got him. Okay. Um. Alright, that's working. Alright, let me give myself something weaker just to make sure that's not always happening, because that'd be weird. Um, Control H, class, item, find close. Here, we're going to make this 1, so it's just the sheet. Pretty sure, yeah, I gave the cows 5 health, and they're starting with 4, so that, oh, that is the, why do I have 2 numbers there? Okay, so that's actually the rope. So that's fine though. It'll take 2 hits. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, cool. Now I need to have a similar spawning mechanism to the fish, and drops for kills kind of thing, experience. But I like where this is going. You can kill all the cows. Congratulations. You can try to attack the water, but, you know, no promises. Alright, so I think this was a very successful session. Not as long as the previous one, but I'm happy with the results. I'm going to be cutting it off here just because I am awfully tired. I stood outside for a while today and it was hot. So thank you guys if you have been watching. I can see that nobody currently is. So thank you to anybody that did watch, and thank you to anybody that for some reason is watching this in the future after it's live streamed. But I do leave it up if anybody's interested in that. Can't really advertise it if you've already watched it. So like I said, thank you for watching. I'm going to sign off, probably take a nap, but I will keep you updated on when I'm streaming next. So, goodbye.